Hello again, and welcome to Lesson 3. In this lesson, we're going to explore negative space, how to recognize it, how to use it, and how it affects how you think about what it is that you're drawing. One of the things that you will draw is leaves. And it's important to recognize the difference between positive space and negative space. So in the examples that we're looking at here, the leaves themselves become the positive, and then the area that's around the leaves and the stems we refer to as negative space. So when you're doing your drawings, use that negative space. In other words, look at the shapes that negative space is creating. We tend to get so wrapped up in identifying the positive shapes that we forget that, oh, there are other shapes there. And maybe they don't have names. We can't call them a leaf or a stem, but we can certainly see them with our eyes and we can draw them. So that's the challenge with these drawings. I do want to point out something else too. Notice the background of the first drawing on the left. It's very smooth, and that's really lovely to look at. It shows off both the negative and the positive space very well. The middle drawing is it's okay, but it's not as good. You can see some of the lines. It looks a little rough, so it's sort of distracting. And then the picture on the right, the drawing on the right, that's really not done very well because you can see that they've outlined the leaves, and then the background is just again those kind of sketchy lines, and it gives you the sense that, well, they must have just been in a hurry to get all that area covered. Take time. Don't be in a hurry. The background is as important as the object that you're drawing. So think about both the positive and the negative space, and how you treat that negative space impacts the image. One of your drawings is to copy a chair from a photograph, and you'll do that in your workbook. Take a look at the two examples that are here on the slide, and you'll notice that actually the example that's on the left, one of the back legs is really angled. So that actually interferes with how we judge the reality of that image. And when we look at the drawing that's on the right, where the legs are more realistic, then that actually makes us enjoy the whole image more. So when you're doing your negative space drawing, really pay attention to drawing the negative spaces, taking a look at them, drawing them carefully, but then also kind of step back and look at your image and decide, is there anything that maybe I need to look at again, and look at both the negative and the positive spaces and just make sure that your whole image looks realistic. After you've practiced recognizing and drawing negative spaces with the copy of the chair, then you'll be able to choose your own chair and draw that using the negative space technique. I would suggest that you follow what people have done in the examples that you see here. In other words, make sure that the chair that you draw has open spaces. And also make sure to set up the chair so that you've got kind of a three-quarters view. In other words, not just front on. The front on view seems like it might be easier, but sometimes it's really much more difficult, and it can look really odd if you don't do it just right. So actually do yourself a favor and turn the chair so that you can see all of the legs, and that gives you a good angle to draw. Well, I just couldn't resist. I know that you have all kinds of interesting chairs that you'll be drawing, but I don't think you'll probably have any that look quite like this. But wouldn't that be fun to do? All right, have fun drawing.